Hi guys, Ashley here. Welcome to the next episode of Ashley's Digital China. Today we're going to talk about the Metaverse and Web3. In fact, I want to present to you my new book on the topic, which is called Metaverses for Business: How Companies in China and the rest of the world are exploring Web3. Today's video is going to be slightly different. I'm going to read you a few excerpts from the chapters from this book, and you will see that it is written in a very simple language, just to explain you what is metaverses, how are they significant, who is building those metaverses both in China and abroad. There will be a lot of case studies from the companies known and unknown or less known. So let's jump straight into this and learn about metaverses in China and the Web3. Let's start with the introduction. The Metaverse. Surely you've come across this term in the past few years. Mark Zuckerberg even changed the Facebook's name to Meta to show his commitment to the concept. There's so much buzz surrounding the Metaverse, but many people wonder what it is and what all the fuss is about. Just as there were previous hype cycles around NFTs and cryptocurrencies that eventually died down, the excitement around the Metaverse has calmed down, but this does not mean that it has gone away forever. The Metaverse is just the next stage of the interactive internet, and it encompasses a variety of formats, from highly interactive apps that use augmented reality to virtual replicas of actual cities that reflect the real-time activities going on in the city, for example, from vehicle traffic flow to levels of rainfall. It doesn't yet exist in the cohesive way that the current internet does, but the building blocks exist, and the process of connecting them all is starting. Some of these are obvious to the public, like the huge popularity of virtual worlds like Minecraft, while others are obvious only to smaller groups of people like car engineers and architects who have been using metaverses and virtual reality in their work for many years already. But in the next few years, more uses and examples will pop up as things develop. It goes without saying that tech and gaming companies are involved in this area. Many video games are already metaverses of a sort, with massive online worlds where players from all around the world roam as avatars. They build things, socialize, do tasks, listen to concerts, buy and sell goods, and of course, play games. Some consumer good companies already make use of metaverse elements as well. For example, Nike have made their own metaverse spaces that host a variety of sports-based games and virtual Nike products you can win by exploring this world. But even governments around the world are making use of metaverses to create virtual twins of their cities to help with things like zoning and development, traffic management, policing, utility repairs, and more. So now let's take a closer look and see what's behind the hype and what metaverses are all about. What is a metaverse and what is not a metaverse? Many consider the metaverse to be the next world-changing digital communication innovation, similar to the internet and social media. Some futurists predict that metaverses will be used for everything, from work to recreation. However, most people still aren't clear about the fundamentals, so let's first establish what is and what isn't a metaverse. The simplest definition of a metaverse is that it's a virtual space that you can move around in and interact with. This virtual space can be completely digital, have digital elements displayed on top of real-world objects on a smartphone screen, for example, or other display, while other metaverses mend elements of the real and digital worlds and allow them to interact with each other. Specialists have a much more detailed concept of these immersive virtual worlds that involve a range of systems that are fully integrated, interoperable, and available to anyone with a digital connection at any time in a seamless manner that bridges online and offline worlds real time. Some even think that the metaverse will eventually operate in 3D and on all 5 senses, including simulated touch, taste, and smell experience similar to the movie The Matrix. There are also different visions of what the relationship between the virtual and physical worlds will be like, with some seeing it as a fusion, some seeing it as a spanning both worlds, while others see virtual simulations happening in the physical world. In the book Parallel Metaverses by Nina Xiang, the author combines the vision of metaverse expert Matthew Ball and others to list 4 key characteristics that are commonly seen as a part of a fully developed metaverse of the future. These elements are: it's persistent, synchronous, and live. Number 2, it's massively scaled without any cap to concurrent users. Number 3, it's interoperable. And number 4, it will be an all-encompassing, fully functioning economy. All these factors, the variety of interpretations of them, and the fact that many of them don't exist yet is why so many people today are confused or unenthused about the whole concept. For the purpose of this book and this video, unless talking about the future, we'll use a broad definition that describes some current virtual worlds, since the fully integrated metaverse experts envision doesn't yet exist in some way anyway. Another way to look at it is that we currently have a collection of metaverses. Each one is a metaverse. In the same way that individual digital information boards were connected to form the World Wide Web a few years ago and make the internet, some experts believe that as technology improves, these metaverses will be interconnected and will form the metaverse. We'll also talk about the virtual components of metaverses, such as virtual reality, augmented reality, avatars, virtual currency, and virtual goods as well. Let's look at a few examples of well-known virtual spaces that are metaverses in the sense that people can control avatars to explore it, interact with it, and communicate with others in this space. Metaverses like Minecraft, Roblox, and Second Life are entirely on live and similar to video games. Anyone with an internet connection can explore them using avatars. Minecraft and Roblox are aimed more at children and teens, with a focus on players building things and creating games. Second Life is aimed more at adults who use avatars to socialize and date, participate in events, build things, shop, and trade virtual property and services. Minecraft and Roblox call participants players, while Second Life calls them residents. These are considered metaverses rather than games because there aren't set tasks, levels, objectives, or manufactured conflict. But not all aspects of metaverses will be fully online and completely virtual. A good example of augmented reality, when digital elements are displayed on top of real-world objects using displays, is the famous Pokemon Go. The game exploded in 2016 and was the first example of a global cultural phenomenon that used augmented reality to enable people to see virtual items in the real world. Although it's a game, it's an example of how AR can be used in metaverses. An example of metaverses that meld real and virtual worlds are smart cities and digital twins. A digital twin is a copy of a city that exists in the digital world with data fed into it from sensors and cameras in the physical world. This allows city managers and people in charge of infrastructure to observe events in real time, solve problems, and plan future city developments using highly accurate models. Smart homes also offer the opportunity to control and interact with home appliances and systems virtually. At the moment, there are lots of different metaverses owned by different communities and companies with different user bases. One metaverse might specialize in business meetings and work tasks, while another is a fun world that users explore and interact with. Metaverses have 3 major components: hardware, software, and digital commodities. A work-based metaverse might be used as follows. When it's time to work, you log in, you view the virtual world through the computer screen, a large wall display, or VR goggles. The virtual workplace could include meeting rooms, hangout spaces, games, and more. Some predict that in time, virtual workplaces will replace office or home office workspaces, allowing people to connect, communicate, and explore as never before. One way to determine if something is metaverse is to ask yourself two questions. One is this an immersive digital experience? Number two, does this platform have any real world value? The real world value can be anything from meeting new people to obviously earning money. If the answer to both of these questions is yes, then there's a good chance that it's a metaverse of some sort. Some video games are metaverse platforms, but not all video games are metaverses. A metaverse is meant to have wider practical applications than playing games. If the purpose is to play games, then it isn't a metaverse, although the game might have a very rich metaverse style environment. Might be confusing, but I hope this clarity is now being established what is and what is not a metaverse. So what about social media platforms? Since most are not immersive and use current technology in expected ways, such as instant messaging, writing posts, showing images and video, they don't qualify as metaverses. However, as they develop, metaverse elements may be incorporated into the social media networks of the future. Now, let's take a look at the Chinese companies creating and using Web3. Some of China's top tech companies, such as Tencent, Alibaba, Huawei, Baidu, ByteDance, NetEase, and Bilibili, are working hard on creating country's metaverse infrastructure. While this is happening, smaller companies and brands are using metaverse elements and designs in a variety of ways as well. All are operating with an eye to regulations and a focus on practical approaches that benefit the wider economy and national goals. The country's massive market means that it's a very important metaverse mover and shaker. So let's take a look at these companies. First of all, Tencent. Tencent has released a white paper about their plans to launch their own metaverse. Co-founder and CEO Pony Ma prefers to use the term immersive convergence and Quanzhen Internet when talking about the company's metaverse plans. The company sees it as a new industrial ecosystem that links virtual landscapes with the real world. He has also stated that he believes that it's the future of the internet and the next wave after the age of mobile era. As the world's largest gaming company, known for games like Honor of Kings, League of Legends, PUBG Battlegrounds, and PUBG Mobile, it's no surprise that it intends to be a leading metaverse developer. The company has a track record for investing early in concepts it believes in and committing to them over the long term. Its vision focuses on practical business solutions and prioritizes B2B solutions in areas like factory digitalization, digital prototyping, remote machinery operation, virtual conferencing services, and AI applications for banking, for example. However, these aren't its only interests. A while ago, it also hosted a huge online music festival called TME Land. The company is also an investor in the largest Western metaverse, Roblox, and formed a strategic partnership with the company in May 2019 that includes a scholarship fund to sponsor 15 young Chinese creators to attend week-long creator camps at Stanford University, for instance. The dollar amount for their investment isn't known, but the collaboration is ongoing. Tencent's presence in gaming extends even further. It has a 40% stake in America's Epic Games. In addition to computer games, Epic Games is the developer of Unreal Engine, a real-time 3D computer graphics engine that plays a huge role in realistic, high-quality video games and metaverses. Number 2, Alibaba. Taobao and Tmall, for example. Taobao, part of Alibaba ecosystem, also has a virtual social and shopping universe called Taobao Life that operates alongside its shopping platform. Its setup is similar to South Korea's Zepeto metaverse, but with a retail focus. People can quickly create and customize cartoon-style avatars for themselves, meet others online, collect points, use their points to shop for virtual items based on real branded items, and decorate their virtual home even. Purchases made on Taobao and Tmall increase their points in the game, so it has a strong shopping motivator as well as social and entertainment elements. On Valentine's Day, back in 2020, luxury brands like Canada Goose, Hugo Boss, Marni, and Burberry made limited edition digital versions of items with virtual photo backgrounds for an in-universe campaign on Taobao Live. Couples could connect and pose for photos with the items and the backgrounds. They could then save these images and post them to social media. The campaign was especially fitting as it was difficult for people who didn't live in the same city to meet in real life due to the COVID restrictions back in 2020. It enabled people to get together virtually and also drove sales for the real versions of the featured products. During Chinese New Year 2023, Taobao enabled AR and VR product viewings and fittings. It also allowed shoppers to replace orders via ad screens in its live stream in the platform's virtual world. Packages would then be delivered to their home. Given that the recent survey showed that people in China were most keen to see AR, VR, and immersive elements in their shopping experience, Alibaba is likely to play an outsized role in shaping the metaverse elements that the average person in China will experience. Number 3, Huawei. Shenzhen-based Huawei, which also makes consumer electronics, smart devices, and solar products, is the largest telecom equipment manufacturer in the world and a leader in 5G development. It's heavily involved in building hardware and the communication infrastructure needed for metaverses in China and around the world, but has faced obstacles in the US due to trade restrictions imposed on the company. Even so, it aims to be the world leader in the metaverse space, and it has the capabilities to make good on that goal. In 2020, Huawei made a major breakthrough with the launch of Cyberverse, its AR map that allows users to experience an immersive 3D landscape that's connected to the physical world around them. Then, in August 2022, during Shanghai's Urban Digital Transformation Experience Week, the company announced that it was partnering with Fudan University and others to create China's first Metaverse Research Institute. Shanghai is a metaverse and virtual reality innovation center in the country and one of China's key tech hubs. Edge computing is a method for distributing computing power so that computation and data storage happen closer to the physical location where it's needed, improving response times and saving bandwidth. It's one of the enabling components of increased digitization and immersive virtual universes. Out of all the large global tech companies, Huawei has the highest number of edge computing patents. The company has also developed sunglasses style VR glasses that can connect to smartphones and cloud XR services that enable cloud-based abilities like large-scale 3D mapping, adaptive spatial computing, and digital human rendering. Huawei is in 4th place in the metaverse patent race behind LG, Samsung, and Meta globally. Notably, it is ahead of Apple. Number 4, Baidu. Search engine giant Baidu has created what many feel is China's first metaverse called Xirang, or the Land of Hope. The first location built in this virtual world is called Creator City. It has a virtual arena that boasts the ability to host virtual conferences with up to 100,000 attendees with real-time, realistic audio. The arena resembles the Senate chamber from the Star Wars movies, with large floating seating areas arranged around a center stage. Baidu used its Metaverse app, which was released on December 27, 2021, to hold its annual developer conference. Xirang also featured areas for art exhibitions, buildings from Chinese mythology, and a diving pool where avatars can compete against each other in a virtual championship. Plans for Xizang include entertainment, gaming, education, conferences, exhibitions, and advertising. But it's currently still in the early stages of development, and its initial launch experienced a variety of glitches and latency issues. Number 5, NetEase, the second largest video game business in China. Its tech strength includes proprietary 3D game engines. NetEase released the Yaotai app for immersive virtual meetings in August 2022. By then, approximately 100 virtual conferences had already been held on the app by institutional customers, which includes universities and large corporations. NetEase is stepping up its efforts to market Yaotai as Metaverse-related service competition hits. NetEase is stepping up efforts to market Yaotai as Metaverse-related service. The head of NetEase, Yaotai, Liu Bai, stated in an interview that Yaotai's technological foundation is consistent with that of our games, so we can use many of the existing capabilities of NetEase games in the future Metaverse. Number 6, ByteDance. In April 2021, ByteDance, the company behind the short-form video app Douyin and its international equivalent TikTok, invested 100 million RMB, that is approximately $13.7 million, in Code Quankun, a Metaverse-related company. Then in June 2022, ByteDance purchased Chinese VR startup called Polyq. Polyq is the company behind social site VO, which allows users to design their own avatars. So ByteDance is also in the game. Number 7, Bilibili. The founder and CEO of Bilibili, Chen Zhui, stated that the video streaming and gaming platform had excellent potential to develop metaverse solutions. Bilibili, which has a much younger user base than many of China's other video platforms, is testing out its new blockchain solution, U-Powerchain, as its maiden entry into the metaverse. U-Powerchain is a digital native community designed for new applications, culture, gaming, and digital assets, as well as community governance. Bilibili has also been on the forefront when it comes to staging large virtual concerts in China. These are the 7 large Chinese tech companies that are making an impact. However, there are a few lesser-known companies that are also contributing to China's metaverse offering. Firstly, Yuehua Entertainment. Yuehua Entertainment debuted a virtual girl called A-Soul on November 23, 2020. In December, their single, Quiet, was released. They have gone on to become hugely popular, and on January 28, 2022, they joined the Olympic Games Interactive Music Carnival. The band members do regular live streams and Q&A sessions on Bilibili. The band is brought to life by anime-style images that are mapped onto information from motion capture and facial tracking apps that track a human performer. Their fans are mostly young people who range in age from teens to those in their early 30s, who grew up with strong anime affinities. For them, it's the next phase of animation. Number 2, Zhanmai. In May 2021, Shanghai's Zhanmai Technology, in partnership with Tokyo's AWW Inc., created Ai, which they called China's first digital human. She is remarkably realistic. Her skin texture, for example, adapts to varied lighting and shadows, using cutting-edge technology to realistically mimic a real human in photos. Her persona is also built around the metaverse, as she's billed as a fashion brand manager, NFT artist, and digital curator. She, for example, released Mooncakes NFTs online for 2021 Mid-Autumn Festival. When she made her Red or Xiaohongshu debut, the post garnered roughly 3 million views and she gained nearly 40,000 followers in a day. Given this, it's not surprising that she's been in marketing campaigns and events for big brands like Disney, L'Oreal, Louis Vuitton, Sandro, Bose, and many others. The technology for AI is from AWW Inc., a Japanese company that specializes in hyper-realistic virtual idols. It has already created two well-known virtual personalities in Japan, Plastic Boy, aka Zin, and Ima. AI isn't China's only virtual idol, of course. Other well-known digital stars include Luo Tianyi, Xiao Yang, Reddy, and many others. China's digital idols are becoming more sophisticated, realistic, and operable in multiple formats. They can appear as characters in videos, avatars in online worlds, models and photos, partners in live streaming sales, and holograms during offline sales events. Number 3, MiHoYo. MiHoYo is a company behind the anime role-playing game Genshin Impact. MiHoYo's virtual world, launched in early 2022, is called Hoyoverse. The company's co-founder and CEO, Hao Yucai, said that it's aiming for an immersive virtual world that integrates anime, games, and entertainment. The company is also known for its partnership with Shanghai's Ruijin Hospital, helping create a lab in the hospital's brain disease center, which is researching clinical applications of brain-computer interfaces and their health applications. For example, they are looking at its efficiency in terms of treating depression. In addition to these tech companies, Chinese consumer brands like Moutai and Flores's may not have metaverses, but they are making use of metaverse styles, approaches, and elements in their marketing. So let's take a look. Moutai. The prominent Chinese liquor brand developed a game app in collaboration with NetEase as the foundation of their metaverse debut. Users can create their own virtual alcohol in the game's universe. The app quickly rose to the top of the list of free iOS apps after its 1st of January 2023 release. In just 3 days, it amassed more than 1 million registered users. Users earn points by accomplishing objectives in the game, which they can then use to purchase limited edition Year of the Rabbit NFTs, which many Chinese internet users consider to be an excellent investment. Number 2, Flores's. Chinese beauty brand Flores's already had a virtual persona named Xiaowanzi when made contact with the brand's customers and private traffic through the brand's WeChat account. The character is an avatar with its own account that represents the brand, in other words. The virtual character shares her daily routine, mood, and skincare experience in WeChat moments. WeChat users connect with their account and feel like they are making contact with a real person. Various staff members operate the account with a focus on customer centricity. The persona responds quickly, in a personal manner, and behaves like a friend, as it assists customers and promotes the brand's products. Flores's added a digital idol named after the brand in June 2021. The digital character personifies the brand and its emphasis on traditional Chinese culture and beauty. It also helps to avoid the pitfalls of using influencers or celebrities as brand ambassadors. There have been a lot of controversies surrounding high-profile influencers and celebrities in recent years in China because of personal issues, their behavior, or financial irregularities. Having a brand-controlled virtual influencer allows the brand to have greater control and avoid these kind of problems. The brand can also deploy their digital star online, in videos, in live streams, or even offline by using holograms or lookalikes to play the role. To sum up, these are just a few examples of approaches to the metaverse in China. They encompass anime, virtual idols, business solution, health research, gaming, marketing, and much, much more. And this is it for today. I was reading you a few excerpts from this book, Metaverses for Business, how companies in China and the rest of the world are exploring Web3. If you are interested to learn more, get this book on Amazon. If you have any questions, shoot them to me on LinkedIn or here on YouTube. Grateful that you spent this time with me. I hope that you know a lot more about metaverses right now and how they are built in China. There's a lot of other cases and real-life implications in the book, so get through to them. Stay tuned for more Ashley Talks videos to come and enjoy your week.